Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here today. This is going to be a very interesting day, to say the least.
So what we're going to do is Tabaash is going to change your seats. The reason for this is it's part of setting the vibration, so it's a formula. So it's like he's weaving the energy, basically. And then after that, we will do a meditation to set the energy. So I'll bring him through, and then he'll just do his thing. He might not speak, and he might just point. So he's not being rude, he's just, you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to a whole new life, a whole new being. You can keep your bodies, but we will change your souls. Hello.
Hello.
Antonio.
Hello.
Capri.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Nice.
Does it have a bit of water? Well, you could at least got me a table. Okay. Everybody stand up, please. I'm just going to make noises, all right? Everything's a formula. Life is a formula. Groups are formulas. The way you dress is a formula. The way you breathe is a formula. So important to be conscious of the formulas you're creating. All of you here, however you come to be here, you've decided to establish a new formula. All formulas are energy. Energy always exists. Formulas come and go. All of you here are removing formulas that do not work for you anymore and putting together new ones. New formulas give you new chances. They give you opportunities, they give you new ways of thinking, they give you new ways of feeling, they give you new ways of being, they give you new ways of standing. You know, they give you new ways of everything. You will breathe differently, you will feel differently, you will think differently, you will eat differently, you will blow your noses differently, you might even fart differently. If you do that, of course. Well, sure, you don't. Okay. Eyes closed. What I'm going to do is involve the energy first of this land that we are in. We're going to call in with great respect, because it's very important that you respect the ancestors of the place that you align with. Not just doing seminars, but any place you go where there's history, you must ask permission. You might go to France, you might go to Italy, you might go to Japan, you might go to New Zealand, you might go to the middle of Australia, you might go to Korea, you might go to Antipodes, little islands, you might go to Puerto Rico, you might go to Wisconsin. Wherever you go, there are ancestors. Human nature can be very arrogant and just assuming, oh, this is where I belong. I can go anywhere. Yes, you can go anywhere. But this is not good grace to first ask permission. Call upon those and also introduce yourself. This is my tribe. This is my mountain. This is my river. This is my heart. This is my soul. This is my power. I lay myself before you and ask of you to let me walk with you for a while. So we are giving the permission. Ashalama. Now, I'll come to each of you and you will speak one word. And it is a word of your intention for being here. Now you're thinking, oh, now. What you may think right now, what comes out of your mouth may be completely different. But what you're thinking right now is coming from your human nature. You want to speak this from your soul nature. Something Blair omitted to say to you. He said, even though I will talk to you, we will be calling on some other entities through the day. To do this, because the advancement of his channel, he does not have to sit, leave, and someone else come through. It is just like that. So you may notice a subtle change. I might just pause for a second. Just fit, somebody else fit in. But in the meantime, it's me, okay. Hello, okay. For some time, all of you have felt your soul speaking to you in ways that you've never experienced before. And it's spoken to you in lots of different ways. It is not necessarily spoken to you with high five energy. It's spoken to you through your pains. It's spoken to you through your hurts, through disappointments, through confusions. It's spoken to you by your not liking yourselves. It's spoken to you by your grief. It's spoken to you through your human experiences. And as it's spoken to you through these human experiences have been the catalysts for you to understand what you're doing, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what is your human nature and its experiences. How are you portraying yourself through your human nature. You know, you just can't suddenly be God, and then your human nature is fine, and everything's okay. What are you involved in at this point in your history? Is this reorganizing of everything? And you cannot reorganize anything if you do not accept what your human nature is experiencing. And all those things I mentioned and more, there is nothing wrong with any of that. No bad person is in your life. No bad thing has happened to you. No negativities are really in your life. What is in your life is life. And what you're doing with that is all to do with your ideas of life. Your ideas of people. Your ideas of you. Your emotions, your feelings. Your ideas of your futures. Your ideas of everything. Nothing exists until you want it to exist. And the more you allow the thought of that, the more the vibration of that becomes more relevant to your being. I said to many of you, and I've talked to them in the past, life is not a destination. Life is experiences that you are involved in. And so if you pay attention to the experiences, then you're going to make sure that they are the ones that you really want. And the more you do that, then those experiences are going to come closer to you in ways where you will feel in human nature terms wondrous. Just need a bit of water. Julie, come here. Excuse me. I give it to the wife. So what are you doing? You're deciding now at this time in your history, what are the experiences that I feel I wish to have? Not know, but feel. Knowing is different from feeling. I can know that you're all sitting here. And therefore my knowing just allows me to observe when I know they're sitting there. But I can feel that you're sitting there. And the moment I feel you're sitting there, what am I doing? I'm engaging with you. So then I have a relationship with you. And so this is about feeling. So when you have experiences that you feel for, then you have a relationship with the vibration of that. And this is so essential. I mean, think about how many times you thought that you were involved with your life, but in fact you weren't having a relationship with it at all. You were having a knowing of it. You had an idea of it. Oh yes, I'm doing this. I know I'm doing that. It becomes then your ritual rather than the intimacy of the feeling of it, of the vibration of it. So souls who have made this very, very important decision to be here in this part of this world, which carries a very, very unique vibration that allows not only the development of your soul, but it transforms you. This is, on this planet, a transformational place. As nice as it is, Los Angeles is not a transformational place. It's a place. every person in this room does not want to just live in a place. You want to live in a transformational place. And when I mean that, I'm not just talking about the city you live in, the country you live in. I'm talking about what's going on within you, the environments within you. You're an environment. And so you're looking for all levels of transformation. So what your soul is doing is pointing you in directions. It's saying to you, go there. And then all these coincidental things start to happen. Or you get a feeling for something. Because your high nature, your soul nature, has said to you, you decided to transform. But thinking about it's not good enough. You have to do it. Naughty. You have to follow through things, you know? And you're not. I'm not getting at you. But you know what I'm talking about. Since our conversation last time. You have to follow things through. Otherwise, you're still under the net of the old vibration. So people do. You know, you pick up tools, hear things, swim through the oceans of higher consciousness. And then you go home. It's not that you forget about it, but then you get overwhelmed by your stuff. And everybody does it. Even Blair does it. You get overwhelmed by your stuff. But when you get overwhelmed by your stuff, that doesn't mean that, oh, I've got so much more I have to do or so much more I have to be. When you get overwhelmed, you just have to go to the parts of you that aren't overwhelmed. Because you are these multidimensional beings of energy that can access anything that you so desire. And this is why you're all in training now for those concepts, to make that real to you, to engage with that vibration. It's happening in different ways. But you know, it is about, and this is really important for all of you while you're here, while you're spending this time, because the energy is just ripe for all this. And it's not even about speaking a word. What are you doing by being here? I'm announcing myself. I'm announcing a vibration. I'm announcing an energy. I'm announcing something by the connections, the people that I feel in alignment with. You feel in alignment with somebody. You've made a formula. That formula changes a vibration. That vibration allows another form of announcement. Every morning you wake up, I'm announcing myself. I've come back, I've come through again. Back in life, back in the body, back here. And so all through the day, what are you doing? I'm here, notice me. But what some people do, is they want to stay in the shadow. You know, well, don't notice me. Don't notice me. She doesn't stay in the shadows. I'm here and don't forget. Interesting, isn't it? You see, there's people who've gone through so much pain and so much toxicity. Basically, what you're doing is you're going, fuck you. Really. But what you're doing, that's to yourself, that's to your own self. You know, I'm alive, I'm here. Sometimes you haven't wanted to be. And so, when you make a decision about making an announcement, it's all going to be relative. Do it big. You know, make it big in some particular way. And that could be the way you present yourself. It could be the way you decorate your home. You know, it could be, you know, being really special about something, a food you like to eat. You know, do something that you say, I am announcing my acceptance of who I am, the way I think, the way I feel, where I live. Because you're walking towards your complete authenticity. And as you walk into that authenticity, you're walking away from what was not authentic. You could easily take back your toxicity. And this is the thing human nature gets involved in. When you do your seminars, and you do all this connecting with each other, loving each other, and relieving each other, and then it's like you embrace the energy, and the energy embraces you. You feel supported, and connected, and loved. You ride the wave. It's all good, it's all cool. And then you separate, and you go to your homes in your countries, and you don't feel so supported, you don't feel so connected, and then you go back into your sadnesses, or you go back into your lonelinesses. But don't forget, you've already forged the alignment. So for the rest of your lifetime, you'll be connected to each other. You just have to remember, and pull the energy back in. It's always there. And of course, with your technology these days, you're only a WhatsApp away, or Instagram away, or whatever, you know. What's up? Is it what's up? What's up? You know, what's up away? I remember saying once at some meeting, humans can create iPads, iPods, but sometimes they can't create I-cans. And I wills, and I am. It's a good laugh, I am. But you can do that within yourself, through your thoughts, through your connections and attitudes. Oh, someone else is going to pop through in a minute, I can feel it. So I just walk for a second. For too many centuries, you have persecuted yourself. Through many lifetimes, through your ideas, through the ways you have treated other peoples. Through the ways you wish to look the other way. What you have done is not a bad thing. What you have done is a thing. You will take yourself each day and crucify yourself. You find ways of punishing yourself. And for what? You know, you are soul. You know you are soul. You know you are love. Many of you said, when Tabaash asked your intention, many of you said love. Is love an intention? What is love? Love. life is not an intention. It is. So in the gathering that you are doing this day, these days that you're here, do not set an intention for yourself. Do not seek to become something. Live who you are. Live the word you spoke. By living the word you spoke, that is freedom. Enter is free. Even in body he was free. He lived his truth. He was not afraid. He speaks of his stubbornness. But he had to observe first before he took a step. He liked to do the drying. He still is. Through many teachings, through history, it has been spoken of the many cycles that souls experience, the many cycles that countries go through. Life is cyclic. For vibrations change. So with different vibrations, the rules must change. You must change your rules if you are to move forward. There is more collective understanding, acceptance, mind, body, spirit, than ever before in history of this planet. Therefore, you have the availability of everything. Ancient histories did not. People speak of the ancient mysteries, of the portals of life. And they existed, but they were only available to a very selected few who'd evolved to that place. Now, the whole world has access to this. Nothing is denied you. There are no magic formulas that you have to embrace. What you embrace is the acceptance of your soul, its power, and that as your identity. And this is a simple teaching that has been laid down through history. Something humanity seems very difficult to embrace. Why? Why is it they do that? Why is it you can, in your own teachings of yourself, find it difficult to embrace the knowledge and the wisdom, the power, the aptitudes, the abilities, the simplicity? How is it that you cannot find times to weave this through your day? Why is it you feel you have to always create a special event for that to be there? Is not every moment of your awakening a special event? Is that not the altar of life that you stand on and create from? Is that not the place where all your power is? Is that not the place where you launch yourself into the glory of what you call your God, your source? Is that not the place where there for you at that time, remember who you are? Is that not the place where there's no fear, no concern? Is that not the place where there is love? Gentle lady, you are so beautiful healer. I honor you. Do you trust your ability? Do you trust you? Yes? No? I want to. Sit for a moment, come back to you. She wants to. Hands up for those who would automatically say, I want to. Be honest. Indeed. Your lack of trust does not mean your lack of ability. What gets in the way is what Tabaash was talking earlier. Well, the ideas. I take away your I want to, and I give to you I am, I can, and I am doing it. Do you accept this? Yes. And there's no big deal about this. You do not need to come suddenly find a book. You read a lot. I know, I'm looking at your library. Don't stop doing that. Just be still with this and realize, well, I can do this, I can read this, because I am. It's there. I don't need to gather more knowledge and words in the hope that I will get it.
That's what I'm doing.
Yes, I know. I remember when Blair first started on his spiritual journey. This was way before he was channeling anybody. And he would read. Meditate till you look like he was on cocaine. Walking through town. I love the world. And he was in a business then. And there's this beautiful, beautiful old church in the city. When you go there sometimes, just to sit and be quiet. And he's sitting there one day, and he's thinking, how am I supposed to remember all this spiritual stuff? You know, it's like he was reading this script that he had to memorize. And then one day he was doing this, and just got a thought from us. You don't have to do this. What you're doing when you're gathering is you're remembering. So your gathering is a trigger to know all I know. So invariably you get to a place where you stop the reading, never the experience, and never the reading completely. But then you realize the simplicity comes in life, and you observe life differently, and if life speaks to you all the time, it's telling you all the time, it's telling you about yourself all of the time. Another time we went to the same church. And he thought he'd have this deep meditation. So he was right at the back. Closes his eyes, off he went. Into this big zone of somewhere. He had lost track of time and energy. He allowed himself just to be. Just let go. I let go of everything. And therefore I just have energy of just frequency, stir, whatever he used to say. He didn't know how long he was sitting there. And suddenly he heard this noise. And he wiped his eyes out and he looks around him. And what does he see? The whole church is full of people. There's a service going on. And he didn't even hear anything. Didn't know people was coming in, making noises, choir singing, all this sort of stuff. And so he sort of was way at the back, so he quickly stood up and sort of got out. He thought to himself afterwards, gosh, those people must have thought I was, dire straits or something, sitting there praying so heavily. You do not need to pray for yourself. You need to love yourself, accept yourself, and you'll be guided and directed when you need to read something, when you need to hear something, when you need to do something. You will be told. It might not be the words in your ear. It might be something you see or feeling you have. It could even be standing waiting to cross a crosswalk and you listen to a conversation people are having and it goes, oh, I need to hear that. It's all there. But are you listening? Are you listening with that, with your soul? It's that listening that's very, very important. And I know all of you here have been listening. Isn't it funny, Frank, how you see those 3 times yesterday? One for the mind, one for body, one for spirit. I know before you were really interested in Julie, but it's a catalyst, you see. It's a catalyst. You get drawn towards an experience. You get drawn to people and you think that's an interest. Oh, there's a beautiful woman, but there's more than that. Everything is more than everything. And that's where you have to remember when to step back and see that. Step back. And just for a moment think, what am I really seeing here? Blessings to you. And we will talk later on. I'll just bring Blair.
Everybody's in a different place, huh?
So guys, I'm just a bit.
We are too.
So we're going to take a break for about 15 minutes. So I'm just going to play some music for you. One of the concepts I'm going to bring in is we are in a place in which they honored the land. The Pachamama is the mountain. They honor, that's like what we would call Gaia. All right, it's the mother energy. And then Inti, which is the sun. And Inti was their life. That's what gave them the life force. So in our meditation, we are going to honor them by using both of these entities to do our visualizations, okay? So Inti is the sun god, who gives us life, and Pachamama, which is the earth. So let me get you some music going. Just close your eyes. And let's put our feet flat on the ground. Now I want you to just begin to focus on your breathing, because in this place we need to use our lungs more. Let's just take a deep breath in, hold it, and release very slowly. Very slowly. And let's take another deep breath in. Hold it. 1, 2, and release very slowly. Take another deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and release. And I want you to just continue focusing on your breath, oxygenating all of those cells in your body. And as you do that, I want you to just imagine a golden cord within your body going all the way down to Pachamama, the mother, connecting as if you had roots coming from within you, grounding yourself, going deep inside. And as you do that, I want you to just focus on your body and begin to release all of the tension that you have in your feet. Feel your feet releasing, your calves relaxing with each breath. Your knees relax. Feel the energy flowing up into your thighs, relaxing your thighs. Feel your buttocks relaxing on your chair. Envisioning that golden cord holding you down, grounding you as your hips relax. Your chest relax. Your back relaxing more and more. Feel the energy of relaxation flowing up into your shoulders, down your arms, into your fingers. Imagine that gold just flowing up into your neck now, into your head, and expanding out to any area of your body that has not relaxed, has not felt the love of Pachamama. And now I'd like for you to envision a beautiful golden light from Inti. Allow that light to come in through the top of your head. And as it does, imagine all of those images, emotions, negative feelings begin to surface with each breath that you take. And as you do, allow Inti to remove them for you. As you breathe, bring up the images, the negative emotions, the stories that you've told yourself. Bring them up and allow Inti to pull them out, releasing you. With each breath that you take, fill your lungs completely and allow those feelings, anything that no longer serves you, to be taken from you. This is the old you. And as you now birth a new you, you no longer need this. Allow Inti to take this from you. Give it up. With each breath, bring up those images that you've been holding, those stories that no longer serve you. You are no longer that person. You no longer need to hold on to all of those excuses. That was the old you. And almost feel as if you could outstretch your arms up towards Inti with thanks in your heart for relieving you of all of those things that no longer serve you. And now focus down into the earth and feel that golden light connecting with Inti's light. And expand it out to the rest of your body like a golden and white dance within your heart. Feel it expanding, and I'd like for you to expand that light and make a beautiful cocoon around you. This is you being protected by those that love you, the heavens and the earth. And with this now in mind, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. With each number, you'll begin to release from Pachamama and Inti, knowing that they are with you always. This is their land. They love you and they welcome you here. 1, beginning to come up now to the sound of my voice. 2, feeling peace and love. Ready to start this day off once again with that newly renewed feeling of joy in your heart, and able now to fill that space that you relieve with so much more love. 4 and 5 coming up now. Eyes open. Welcome back. You're all empty.
Am I on?
Press the button.
Press the button.
Yeah. I'll just tell you that that is something that Tabaash requested, that you relieve yourself of everything that no longer serves you. You don't need to drag it any longer with you. This is a new beginning, so take advantage of that. Okay, sir, you're on.
See you later. means I speak once again to you. Consider for this moment that your life is not your destiny, but your life is your choice. A choice that was made by many, many aspects of you. Not just one part of your being, but all parts of your being made you, you. To understand how life works, you must accept that you are many beings within these bodies. For your soul is not made of one strand that possesses one frequency. Your soul is a multi-dimensional vibrational form that has many strands and therefore many frequencies. So what you are doing through your life is you are portraying yourself as a certain amount of those strands of energy, a certain amount of those dimensions. When you listen right now to me, how many selves of you are hearing me? When more of yourselves hear, then you understand more. When you have lesser of yourselves listening, then you have too many questions or too many uncertainties to develop in yourself. You're pulling the strands of your life together. By doing this, you're establishing more ways of thinking, more ways of feeling, more ways of living, more ways of being, all of yourself. Joke. It brings a whole new meaning to pulling yourself together. And also how you pull together as one, as a group energy. For right now, we are a multi-dimensional group, each being a strand of consciousness that possesses information that all of us need. That is why we are together. We are teachers, creators. And the formula that was established by the positioning of each of these frequencies is indeed a modality, a formula. If a formula is broken, if a dimension in some way ceases to exist, the formula changes. All of you have outgrown so much of the formulas that you have lived, thought, and experienced your life by. This is no good thing, bad thing. It is what it is. So you're now establishing new formulas that are essential for the way you will move forward. in this life that you are presently living. Seek often stillness in the lives that you live. Seek, as many of you have already discovered, seek solace. For standing alone in your own space and zone seems important, for one does not need the distractions of other people's vibrations, the noises of life, at times. And yet, at times, it is the very noises, it's the very vibrations, the very things that you think of as distractions that enhance you, that make you remember, that give clarity to you. For all things are useful. No thing has no use. All things have all use. And if one is able to observe the self well enough, you know what that will be for you. Do not make your life an arduous task by trying to bring too many frequencies in at the same time, for you will only get static, or you may get a vibration that just throws you out of sync. Hence the necessity to, on a daily level, recognize the position that you stand in. From that particular position is its own frequency, and it is that frequency which will complement the vibrations that you will choose to pull in for that day. And then from that position, observe the structure that is before you. That is not an arduous thing to do, for most humans understand the structure of their day. Most humans should never have to say to themselves, who am I today? What shall I do today? What is my structure today? You have your structures, you have your systems, your businesses, your routines. Organize them, but organize them from the place of your highest nature. And then by doing so, you are able to bring in the threads of life that are useful for that moment. It is essential to discard those vibrations, either through the day or at the end of the day, because they have made their use. You are not a carrier mule of energy. You should always, always be clear. Mind, body, and spirit. You should never be filled with anything. You should be clear and pure and empty of everything. And some sit here thinking, how is that possible? How can I not think something? How can I not feel something? How can I not be something? Some of you are very good at rehearsing this. It is easier than one thinks. For when you stand in the position of peace, and you have all experienced this through your meditations, moments out in nature, even sitting, listening, you find oneself in a very aligned place. And before one knows it, you realize, if someone said to you, what are you feeling? You'd probably say, nothing. What are you thinking? Nothing. What are you wanting to say? Nothing. I just am. So you see, it's much simpler than you think. Some friend to Blair says once, when he was just sitting, staring, oh, what are you thinking? You look deep in thought. Blair looked at his friend and said, I wasn't thinking anything. And his mate looked at him and said, well, how can you not think anything? And Blair goes, I always think nothing. And then he says to a friend, when I need to think, I do. When I need to feel, I do. When I need to act, I do. If you're sitting in front of your screens where you watch the people, you do not walk down to the movie theater because you're already sitting where you want to sit. Why walk somewhere where you do not need to walk? What should I be doing? What should I feel? What is my purpose? What is my use? What is your life? There's no exercise that engages you with emptiness. It is simply intention. It is simply being. There's no exercise that puts you into being. So I do not want you to all go to your homes and then try to be, not being. I just want you to be. This is big exercise that is not an exercise. When this time here in this country is finished for you, go to your lives and live. Go to your lives and live. But live in a clear way. Live in the way that feels natural to you. Do not suppress your thoughts, your words, your actions. Do not suppress the emotions of anger, worries, anxieties, fears, negativities. Do not empty yourself of those. Accept them. Accept them. Tabaash has taught enlightenment means to be in light of life. So when you are in light of life, you go to your own life's room and you turn the light on. And when you turn the light on, you see everything. And when everything is seen, life's room is not a storage place. It's just a place where life is. And you realize nothing ever goes away. And I mean nothing. All your pain is there. Your traumas are in that room. Your tragedies are in that room. Your fears, the worst things that you can imagine, are in that room. Joy is in that room. Success is in that room. Healing is in that room. Balance is in that room. Wealth is in that room. Everything that's good and great and wondrous is in that room. Everything that is shit is in that room. And it's all learned how to be together, because it realizes that everything has its place and nothing is got rid of. It's all equal, and everything is an opportunity to learn from, evolve from. It is how you walk into that room that defines your experience. If you walk into that room with your worries and concerns and fears, then what will you get? If you walk into that room as the gods that you are, then you are able to discern. And you have choice. And yes, all the stuff that you do not want or like is waving to you, wanting to have a big party with you, wanting to get your attention. Come, share with me, love me, be a part of me. Everything is always going to beckon to you. If you're God, you will wave back, blow a kiss, put your arms out to it, say yes, hello, I recognize you. I don't hang out with you on that. You position it differently. You've positioned you differently. And when you position you differently, then what you get out of life's work is going to be your choice. In life, there is never a right way. In life, there is never a wrong way. There is only a way. And you're the one who decides what that way is. People speak of getting away from what was. Why not just let what was walk with you? And after your vibrations raise and raise and raise, what was just gets really bored with you. Because it doesn't resonate to the different frequency that you've become. Oh yeah, you can walk with me. Come, let's share for a while, let's walk. Oh, I'll get to him. And then after a while, what was going on? They're no fun anymore. So they just go away. And you just keep walking towards your next creation. Which is a really interesting point to make. But that's exactly what all of you are doing. You're walking towards your next creation. I see around you this young man who's in spirit. His name is Greg. And he says she walks like this, trying to walk two different directions sometimes. Why is she doing it? You're not trusting the part of you that knows everything. So engage in a relationship with that part of you. You just put pressure on yourself where you do not need to by doing the two vibrations. One part of you wants to walk this way. Like saying, no, I don't want to go that way, I want to go the way we've always gone. But I feel the security of this, I feel the safety of this. And then this other part of you, it's not a real wrong part, is saying, oh, look over there. Look, what is this here? Oh, no, that's fine. So it's like this conflict of interest energies that are there. This 18-year-old guy called Greg, he's that young. He's full of excitement for it. He talks to me of your digestive system and just when you put your stress in there. So you have to work with this, express more your feelings and diet. So he says, watch that. Okay. Thank you. When you walk towards yourself, remember what you're seeing is what you're creating. You do not see anything that is being thrust at you. You see what you are creating. For wherever you go, you will find yourself. Your mother. Yes. She's, well, you will know what I mean when I say this. She's saying, what are you doing? And she means you've been here. She would not have come to a place like this. But particularly to something like this. What are you doing? She said. I said, Mama. She comes here to love you, right? In ways she never could, all right? We talked about this. But she has come here to love you. She said this is her opportunity, and she gets this, she understands this. But she's still wondering why you're here. And you know that is okay. You know, you have to remember that. If you move forward, your doubts are not wrong, your fears are not wrong. These are just processes that you're involved in that give you an awareness, that give you a feeling, as we were speaking earlier, of yourself. And as these feelings are presented to you, I think it's so imperative that you do wonder, that you do question. You know, you cannot accept everything. You are gods, you are creators. You are not here to be told in any way whatsoever. You're not here to be told. People think in teachings and spirituality, oh, I do not want to become what that is. Oh, I do not believe in that. And yet it seems like people get angry about it rather than accept it. You know, people have partners who don't be into the same thing, and yet they seem to think it's a dirty thing you're doing. Everyone is entitled to their perspective of things. To be able to be yourself is such a courageous thing. By being courageous, it actually empowers you, because you're actually beginning to bring more and more of those threads that I spoke of before. You know, think about it. Is this really happening? And yet it's always been happening. And I'm not just talking about the auric thing. You know, you're so powerful with the feelings, the insights, the senses of things. You know, is it really happening? Why can't you just say, this is happening, I accept this? Say it now.
This is happening and I accept
A
it.
bit louder, please.
This is happening and I'm accepting
Say it like
it.
you're talking to the whole group, please.
Hey y'all, this is happening. And I'm accepting it right now.
Tabaash wants to pop through, so I'll just let him come through. Hello.
Hello.
That's water. You know, in a way, not in a way, it's true that every day of your life, you're actually channeling yourselves. Every day of your life. So what we're doing by slipping in and out of this body is really no different from what you're doing, because what you're doing every day of your life is you're doing the same thing. You're bringing all these different aspects of yourself in and out. And so you got to think about, how halfway through the day, oh, I feel different today. Or I feel differently than what I did this morning. Or someone says, oh, you seem to look different this morning or in the evening. You're just bringing in different concepts of yourself all the time. So we're talking about the bringing in of the different threads. You're bringing in these dimensions of yourself that possess some specific vibrational frequencies, but information that's really, really important to your situation you're involved in. And I think it's a really easy thing to do, particularly when you look at certain things that are important for you to do, like, oh, this really important business meeting, or a big family event, or, you know, whatever the situation is. You're going to put together a formula for that particular situation. So you'd call in the parts of you that you would need for that situation. Or imagine you're on the freeway and you're going into a traffic jam and you know you're probably going to sit there for half an hour before anything moves. What a great time to just think, oh, okay, what do? Do I call in the parts of me that are patient? Or do I call other aspects of myself where I could make good use of this time? And not just sit there and wait and twiddle my thumbs and say expletives. You know, it's about thinking, well, okay, I've created a reality here where I could use this moment to be God more. Or I could, you know, put some nice music on and just listen. Or I could do all my emails on my phone or something, make good use of the time that you've actually presented to yourself. And then move forward, whether you're in a traffic jam or whatever, with good grace. If you're ever held up, you're held up for a reason, as you people say. And when you move forward with good grace. You know, don't just get all ratty about it and then sort of get angry, etc. Allow yourself to think, okay, you know, that was cool. You know, did I carry that event, did I carry that vibration around with me in such a way where I spent half a day being all wound up and full of anxiety and stress? Or did I just accept, okay, that's cool. Let's get on with my day, it's just over there somewhere. Okay, that glass is going to stay there for the rest of the day because everything is always there. Can't get rid of it. So every time you look at that glass, or someone's going to come in, why is that glass there? It's just there. Everything is always there. And we don't need to get rid of it. And it's actually not in the way. I just don't let it be in the way. You know, I can see it. You know, I just move around it. I just find a place for it. At the moment, it might not be the most convenient place. And this is the thing about anything in life. You don't have to let it stay where it is. I'm going to let it stay there, so you can all see it through the day. But in life, you could pick that glass up and just put it somewhere, like in a corner, over there. It's just there. You can hear me?
No.
Needs batteries.
No. Just talk louder.
The battery. Is that a microphone?
Give me the microphone. You know, this is really important teaching because you're all very powerful souls. The capabilities of utilizing the qualities that you actually have are extraordinary. The gathering you're doing, the way you're moving forward, the people you're helping, the healing you're doing, the way you're changing the world, it's amazing, it's extraordinary. And yet you're still putting so many difficulties your way by all those things that you mentioned. So it's not that, oh, I'm carrying these things. It's just an aspect of you. So it's just an aspect of yourself that you don't have to carry in a way that has an effect on you. So you let it be there. Oh yeah, that's my stuff. I let it be there. It makes it so much easier. You don't have to go through so many processes and anxieties and all the stuff. that you create for yourself. If you can only just let everything be there. And look, we do get it. You know, when I look at some of the pain that people have gone through, physically, emotionally, mentally, etc. And yet how they find something different within themselves that allows them to cope. You have those coping mechanisms. It's just an essential ingredient to who you are. As you discovered that. And so, oh, where did that come from? Oh, so we've been there. And sometimes you haven't even called upon anything consciously. It just seems to present itself. How does that happen? That's your higher self working for you. Your higher self is always there. And when your human self isn't listening, or is in such a state of distress, then that human nature part of you is going to build up that wall where your high nature is just going to step straight in there. And then that peace that you feel, or that confidence that you feel, or I know everything's going to be okay, or just something happens and you just seem to be able to cope. And that's natural. And so for all of you who believe in something beyond your human nature, am I back to normal in here?
No, I'm waiting for the batteries. They're gonna bring some batteries.
Okay. Can I take this off for the moment?
Yeah, sure.
You're all positioning yourself in a very, very different realm of energy that you've decided to participate in. You've been doing this for at least 2 years, engaging in new ideas, new frequencies, new feelings. And this is the time right now, back to basics. Do we have things to write on, everybody? Got right before you now. Oh, it's still okay. Yourself always never to be a background person. You like your shoes?
Yes.
You're cool, right?
What is that?
You should see the other 500 pairs. They're growing. Okay, you know, so many people say to me, "Oh, Tabaash, you know, what do we need to do to make this transition? Tell us, what are the rules, what are the systems?" I'm going to tell you. So write this down. Ways to live on planet Earth. 2020. This might change. These are the rules at the moment. Newcomer? First one is acceptance. I accept who I am. That's my body and spirit. I accept the position I am in right now in my life. With good grace and love. Stillness. Daily, I find a moment to stand still. In standing still, I am able to, and this is the third one, observe. I observe the position of where my standing is. And therefore, I'm able to see more clearly what I accept. Surrender. I totally surrender myself to myself and all of myself that make up myself. Service. You get that? Service. Daily, I will find somewhere to serve someone. Receive. I will allow myself to receive in some way. Alignment. I align with my daily formula of life. Collectivity. I am source power, as everything is. Collectively, we create life. I acknowledge my qualities. I daily practice these qualities. And last, I accept I am God. If you wish not to use the word God, I am source. These are my guidelines. These are facts. I think that's important point to make in the way the vibration is now. You're dealing with facts. In dealing with facts, you have to accept the fact of you and its power, its qualities, and what you do with that. There will always be more that will present itself to you. So that is advancement, that is evolution. This is more a time where perhaps you gather less and move forward with the facts of who you are and make it work for you. So by making it work for you, your aim is to make a more secure position. And by making a more secure position, you make who you are work for you. Which of course the whole idea about being a soul and a body is all about. Make who I am work for who I am. Not to see where it takes me. You don't have to make this like another creed or dogma. But they're just facts. That if you live, and you'd have to live these all in a chronological order. And it's not necessarily every day you will live all of them. But what will occur if you do align yourself with these? You will train all your systems that make you up. And you get this very powerful collaboration of energies, of facts. And it's that collaboration that creates a vibration that will support the way you move forward. Which is, of course, what you're aiming to establish at this particular point. And again, reiterating what we said, it's not a destination, it's not where you're going. It's who am I now? Where am I standing now? What am I thinking now? What am I feeling now? Doing now? That's what matters. Because that's the vibrations you're dealing with. You're not dealing with what's happening next Tuesday. That hasn't even been created yet. It's only some infinite possibility. Do not be distracted by any of that. Do not be distracted by your dreams and your hopes and your possibilities. By being distracted by the idea of them is a surefire way of never making them happen. I'm not saying don't pay attention to them. I'm just saying don't be distracted by them. Distraction would normally come about by daydreaming yourself into that place. To take yourself out of the place that you're in now. Well, I don't like that feeling I've got at the moment, so I'll just daydream into the future somewhere. Because what your soul wants you to do is to always be present. Have this experience. Have this feeling. Have this idea. Have that sensation. Then of course you will fight that because you do not like what you experience. But the moment you face something, you make a stand, you change it. You show who's the boss. It's an interesting word, actually. Write this on your piece of paper. I am the boss of my life. And you daily have to give the boss, from the boss, the orders. all these other aspects of self that you decided to draw in. But that changes. You might have different orders, or even different things, or different orders for the same things. Different days, different vibration. Okay. Well, you put your pieces of paper down now. I have to call you Russell now, because you're all Russell. Oh, that doesn't matter. Okay, he wants to come through again. All right. He wants to sit. I'll talk later. Just picking up on that word acceptance before. Such a essential vibration in that word, with all that is occurring, with all of you at this point in your life development. You have all decided to move into life is very handheld. We've all decided to move into another way of accepting what you feel you are. And when I mean that, I don't mean just yourselves as spiritual beings, but essential ingredients to a formula that is called life. All of you have stepped forward as volunteers to work for God, to serve God, to turn a light on in some way, to lift consciousness, raise the vibration. That has an impact on you. The biggest impact is to allow God's power to flow through you unabated. So in a sense, when you're working, when you're communicating, you are channeling God's power. And by doing this, it can only but enhance your own personal energies, emotions, physicality. All that represents the human nature. Which is why, if you are wishing to move forward, which you all do with great intention, you must look after yourselves. And you will find your own ways of doing that. Awareness is awareness. I am aware of what I think, who I am, what I feel, what I eat, what I drink, how I walk, how I stand, who I am with, I am aware of everything. When I mean awareness, I do not mean abstinence. It does not mean that you have to stop your drug takings and the things that you enjoy doing and the drinkings and the cigarette smokings, etc., etc. It is your attitude towards everything that determines experience. But invariably what occurs is your vibration becomes so aligned with the source that you feel you have no desire for those things. And so you just have a balance of your mind and your body and your spirit, and your systems will naturally just direct you towards what is essential for you. As many of you discovered here, it's like you've outgrown eating sometimes. You know, and it's like you seem to be surviving on air. You lost your appetite. And when you eat food, it's almost can taste nothing. You must enjoy yourselves, you must participate with each other. But you have less, you have more impatience for those who do not resonate to the same understanding that you do. So you begin to move away from those who do not fit with your appetite of life. If that is not a feasible thing to do, then you have to accept, respect, and not fight to be understood. You're not here to be understood. You are not here to have people get you. You are just here to be. And if they have their opinions, as negative as they are, I think it's best to accept. You know who you are? Do they need to know? Sometimes, no. Sometimes the God part of you will direct them towards something. But just think, by association with you, they are. So you're saying things to them by just being with them, existing with them. It's difficult. It's a karmic thing too. People find it more arduous, and some, as you know, have to separate themselves from the peoples that do not resonate to the same vibration. There is not one person in this room, and I mean this, who has any heavy karma. Nothing to resolve in any major way at all. You could not participate in this group if that was the case. Can you feel the relief when I say this? That's the truth. Karma is deals. It's the deals you make with life's force. It isn't about working stuff out. It's the deals you make with life. So when you have karma with a person, it's just the deal that you made with that person. If you have karma with a specific issue, like a health issue, financial issues, it's a deal you made with that vibration. It's not retribution. You know, it's not because you've done something bad or good. You've just decided, I need to learn in my life, say about relationships. So therefore, I'm going to participate in some that are great and some that are not so good. And invariably, if I understand, I'll balance it out, I'll even it out. If I have karma with finances, I might, be born into a very wealthy family, and then the later part of my life, I am poor. Or I might always seem to have difficulties maintaining, or I may have more outcome than income. Whatever. But it's deals. So if you are standing, as we were speaking before, in a strong position in the present, that's a place to deal make. So you can make deals all the time. You don't have to accept the position that you're in. You don't have to think like, oh, this is my karma, therefore I have to be in this place. You don't have to think, I've got to go through this before I can move on. It's more, well, I'm here, I'm standing here. This is this place. Now what am I doing with it? And am I doing something with it that has profited me? Am I understanding the wisdom of this position? Once you have gathered the wisdom and you realize through your own revelation that you no longer need to experience that again, then you change the reality. The moment you change the reality, the moment you have the power to change your circumstances. Example, many, many years ago, a woman comes to visit Tabaash. And in the 1980s, they had that stock market crash. And she'd been a very wealthy woman. And she lost all her money. And she came to see me, we talked. And this was maybe 5 years after. And she says, Tabaash, I know that I can make this money. Something stops me though. Something seems to block me from making this money. And he says to her, well, it's because of what you said when you lost all your money. And she said to him, what do you mean? And he looked at her and he said, well, when you lost all your money, you said these words, I am never going to be in this position ever again. And she looked at him and said, well, I've never said that. And he looked at her and he said, look at the deeper meaning of what that means to you. And of course she just meant, I'm never going to lose my money again. But you have to have the money to lose. So that statement was like, I'm never going to have money to be able to lose. And she looks at him and she goes, now, is that fine-tuned? And he went, yep. So she went home. She worked on this. And within weeks, she created this deal. And the deal pretty much gave her half of what she lost. And then she just went on from that point. And she's wealthier now than she was before. And it was just acceptance, understanding the finesse of how you are in regards to the realities that you actually create. Be careful of what you think. Be careful of what you say. Be careful of what you do. These little throwaway lines that you're so involved in. What's a throwaway line that you use that you think, and you don't even think you're doing it?
I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. And you've all used that one. I don't know. But think about the finesse of that and what, it's a vibration. Particularly when you get into the higher understanding of things. These things really matter. When you just throw up, I don't know, then you won't know. See? All those little things. Which just becomes a day-to-day part of your language. But when you involve yourself in who you are as gods, those things mean everything. They will mean everything to the way you will live your life, the way you will think, the way life will respond to you. Because the moment you start resonating to something bigger, greater, well then the world hears you more, because it's your world that you're participating in, and it's your world that you're creating. So it's just your world. So you will put in your world, I don't know, I'll do it tomorrow, maybe, later, what the fuck, whatever, and all that stuff that humans say. And you just throw it out there. You're just tossing it all out there, that you don't care. And this is the thing about embracing your soul, is you're caring. You're caring about yourself, that's why you do that. And yet, you haven't trained your human nature up enough to be aware of these things that you're doing. So all of you here, will you make this pledge that you will be conscious of these things, yes?
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
good, good. And, also, you'll forget, but as we talked about it, you'll say it, but then they go, oh God, he told me not to do that. Now don't beat yourself up, right? We're not going to put you in a detention. Just think, right now, I don't do that anymore. Or if you're going to have a little aside, then find something else that will be more productive for you. Like, I'm a God. I am awesome. Today I lost 5 pounds. So it's whatever. Lunch? 4 minutes. Early lunch. Guests, enjoy your repast. Talk to you, chat amongst each other as you will. But also, just let the energy of what you're absorbing take you to where you want to go as well. That's important. So, I'll talk to you later. Later.
Hello.
How you doing? It's funny. You have no sense of time, so I just actually feel like I've been away for about 1 minute.
You want to talk into this? Your mic is
Awesome.
It's on.
When you're doing this, you have no sense of time, so I actually just feel like I've been away for a minute. So it's quite disorientating in a way. So, anyway. So did everyone have a good morning?
Yes, thank you.
So, someone new, I can feel someone else is new here. Tanya, you're here. Welcome. Okay. Right, we're going to have lunch. See you guys later.